children. Welcome to DEVO online class Nalgonda. I feel privileged to be a part of this project. In this video, I'm here to tell you the first unit of 8th class. The theme of this unit is the tattered blanket. In this story, you'll be knowing about the human relations that actually prevail in the society. See, you were taken care, a lot of care by your parents when you were children, right? When you are in an young age, you are looked after by your parents more and more carefully. But if you see in your surroundings, in your neighborhood, how the old people are treated by their children. Are the children showing the same affection and care for their parents? Your answer will be no, right? So, better don't be like that children who doesn't care their parents. Be a good child for your parents. Yeah, now I'm going to show you two pictures. You need to tell me that matches your family, okay? Yeah, here is the first picture in which you find children, the parents and their parents. So, yeah, this is called a joint family. And here you can see children with their parents. Do you know what this type of family is called? Yeah, it is a nuclear family. So, which type of family do you see nowadays? Yeah, mostly the second one, right? Now, you have already looked at the pictures. Now answer the questions that follow. What do you observe in the pictures? What we observe? We have observed that there are two types of families. The nuclear one and the joint one. What type of families do we find in our present society and why? Yes, today, nowadays we see most families are nuclear families, that the children and their parents just live together. The grandparents, the aunts, the uncles all live separately and with their own families. Okay, and why? Why is that being prevailed in the society? Because, yeah, there may be many causes, but let us discuss only two: the education and the lack of coordination among family members. So through education, people are going to cities, or they are doing their own sort of jobs which weren't there before. In olden days, the main occupation was used to be agriculture, and they did the farming together, so they lived together. But in today's era, people are in search of jobs according to their educational qualifications. So they are moving to cities in search of their livelihood. Okay. Next, which family do you like? Why? Can you answer? Yeah, mostly you'll be liking nuclear families, but a joint family gives you more love and affection and more knowledge from your elders. The tattered blanket. Every day. Here we go. We get the characters. Let us know the characters of the lesson. An old woman. Yeah, you can see that she is wrapping something over her body. Let us discuss it later. Yeah, Kamala, and the other is Gopi. There are three characters in this story. Okay, now let us get into it. When he arrived unexpectedly at his home in the countryside in his office car and got down at the gate, His mother, who was lying in an armchair on the veranda, made a futile attempt to get up. You can see the picture that a man has arrived in a car in front of a gate. He parked it in front of the gate, and you can see two women sitting on the one sitting on the veranda and the other sitting in the armchair. And when the old woman saw that a car has parked, she tried to get up. Futile means unsuccessful. Kamala, there is somebody at the gate, she said. Somebody is in a car. Kamala. Who is Kamala? Her eldest daughter, a widow. Do you know who a widow is? One who lost her husband, who was sitting huddled up on the thinner on the veranda, her head and ears covered with a thin bath towel, got up reluctantly, walked slowly to the gate and screamed up. Her eyes peered into the darkness. Now, huddling means putting the body parts and legs close because of fear or cold. Because of cold, she might have sit in a position making her legs close to her body. And thinna is the place where she sat. Sit out, you can also say. And reluctantly means not willing to do something. So she doesn't want to get up as it was so cold. She doesn't want to go into the air. So with a hard thing, she got up and went to the gate. Screwing up her eyes means narrowing the eyes to look more carefully. Generally, old aged people look like that. She saw a bald, fat, middle-aged man walking in through the gate. You can see how a bald head will be. Uh, so the person who has come in the car has been described like this. He was a bald-headed one, without hair on their head, and fat, and also a middle-aged man walking in through the gate. Oh, Gopi, she said in her grating voice. Means her voice, because of coldness, she couldn't talk freely and mutter. Why this sudden unexpected visit? She didn't expect him, that he would have come. వస్తాడు అని అనుకోలేదు. That is an unexpected thing. Then, Kamala, who is it? Her mother asked loudly from the veranda. Gopi, the man said. There was a meeting in Thiruvananthapuram. I just dropped in on my way back. So Gopi was replying to her mother that he attended a meeting and coming back on the way. Who, Kamala? Who is it? There is a note of alarm in Amma's voice. Amma, why are you so scared? Kamala, Gopi's elder sister, asked her a little awkwardly. As if you are seeing Gopi for the first time. Why are you asking with a scary voice, scary note? As if you are seeing Gopi for the first time. Amma, it's me, Gopi, he said again. He bent down and brought his face close to her wrinkled cheeks. Amma, it's me. Now you can see in the picture how the wrinkled cheeks are. So generally, aged people will have such type of cheeks. So he bent down and said again that he is Gopi. I got a promotion last year. After that, I am always on my toes. See the red lettered words combinedly called as an idiom. On toes. On toes means busy and ready to work. So he was busy all these days. He got a promotion, it seems. And there are tours quite often. I don't get any time to write letters. Even he couldn't write letters, not a visit also. Besides visiting, he couldn't write letters also. Gopi, Kamala, I can't believe it. Has his school closed for vacation? Oh no, his Amma is unable to get the recognition of her son. She is not able to recognize him. Okay, and her memory, I think, is lost because aged people will generally lose their memories. So she was talking about the schooling of Gopi. Amma is often like these days. She doesn't recognize anybody, Gopi's sister explained. But sometimes her memory is quite sharp. Then she asks me if you have sent any letter. I tell her everything is fine with you, Vimala, and the kids. What's the point of telling her that you haven't written for a year? Poor thing, I wouldn't dream of making her unhappy. So even her mother asks about Gopi. This Kamala, Gopi's sister, consoles her or telling that Gopi is writing letters. Why don't you ask Vimala to write, or doesn't she get any time to? Kamala asked. What are you mumbling over there? Amma said loudly. Mumbling means speaking unclearly and quietly, without clear utterances. I had somebody coming in a car. Who is it? Again she's asking. I told you it's Gopi. But Gopi is in Delhi, isn't he? Again Amma is asking. Okay, she got memorized that Gopi lives in Delhi. Yes, Amma, it's me. I have come from Delhi. Gopi replied. Who did Gopi marry? Amma said, suddenly lowering her voice. I mean, what's his wife's name? So she doesn't remember that he got married and his wife's name also. Don't say you have forgotten her name too. Don't you remember Vimala, district collector Naimbar's eldest daughter? Sorry, district collector Nambiar's eldest daughter. Gopi's sister said, oh, I forgot the name. Was there a letter from Gopi today? There was. He writes every day. I'm terribly upset if I don't get a letter from him every day. He knows it. That's why he writes every day. She again answered. Look at the way she talks. Gopi's sister turned to him. Just as I told you. You know nothing about what's going on here, do you? Who is that? Amma said again. Who is that in a car? It's me, Gopi said. I had come to Thiruvananthapuram. I thought I should drop in to see you, Amma. Who is your Amma? What is her name? Where does she live? Is it far from here? These are the questions asked by her mother repeatedly. No, it is quite near, Gopi replied. I don't know. How can I bring back her memory? Gopi's sister said to him exasperatedly. He was very annoyed, very depressed. Gopi placed his briefcase on the tina. He opened it and pulled out the contents, clothes, files, a shaving set. Do you know my son, Gopi? Amma asked him. She's asking his son Gopi whether he knows Gopi. That's the position of her mother. He opened it and yeah, he is in Delhi, a government officer. He has Kesari Yogam, means well settled. He's well settled. It's called in Malayalam Kesari Yogam. He draws a salary of 2,500 rupees. Do you know him? She again asked. Yes, I know him. So what is she asking? Tell him to send me a blanket. There is a cold mist in the mornings. If I catch cold, it doesn't leave me for a long time. Tell him to send me a blanket, won't you? So her request for her son is to bring a blanket in order to save herself from cold. A red one. I had a blanket, the one he brought for me when he was studying in Madras. It is all tattered now. Tattered means torn. మొత్తం చిరిగిపోయిందన్నమాట. The old blanket which she has, and that too it was brought by Gopi only. Just a ball of knotted yarn. Tell him to send me a red blanket, will you? I'll tell him, he nodded. Please don't forget to tell him. The mist is not good for me. I think I'll stretch myself out for a bit. I have been sitting too long in the armchair. I have a pain in the neck. Gopi's sister put Amma to bed and came back to the veranda. So generally, old people they won't they can't be able to sit long, right? So after sitting for a long time, she wanted to lay down. So Gopi's sister Kamala took her to the bed. You didn't come to see Amma, did you? She's asking, see, Delhi is too expensive, you know. I have 4 children to look after now. I can't make both ends meet with my salary, and one has to keep up one's status. It will be a great help if I can raise some money by selling my share of the family property. I came to talk it over with you. So he has revealed the secret why he has come there. He has come there, he has come to his mother's house, not to see his mother, but to ask for the property that he is his share of the property. Okay, so why he wanted that share? Because he want to raise some amount in order to, yeah, here you can see both ends meet. I can't make both ends meet with my salary, means my salary is not sufficient to run a comfortable life. So over that, he has come to talk with Kamala. We'll sell your land and go away with the money. I know you won't come here any more after that. Kamala has told. Don't say that. I'll come when I get time. Your time. He saw the irritation on his sister's face. She was so irritated. She has got so much anger. It took you more than 5 years to find time to come here. Amma is 83 now. I don't think she'll put on much longer. It took you so long to visit her after the last time. But Amma can't remember who I am, he said, smiling feebly. Ammaki nenu gurtulenu kada anu. But do you remember your Amma? It was asked by Kamala. మరి నీకు గుర్తుందా అమ్మ? అంటే అమ్మ ముసలావిడైపోయి as she was aged, she couldn't remember you. But what about you? You are in a healthy condition, but you are not also remembering mother. That is the answer by his sister. And this story is written by Kamala Das, which was translated from Malayalam. Yeah, here is the author Kamala Das. She is the daughter of the famous Malayalam poet Balamani Amma and V.M. Nair. She is an internationally known poet, short story writer, and novelist who writes effortlessly both in English and Malayalam. She has received many awards for her literary work. Some of them are Asian Poetry Prize, Kent Award for English, Writing from Ancient Countries, Ancient World Prize, Sahitya Academy Award, and Vaila Rama Varma Sahitya Award. Key reading. Here is the poem, My Mother. Now let me tell you first about the poet of this poem, my mother. Daily in the assembly session, we will sing national anthem, Jana Gana Mana Dhinayaka, right? So, do you know the name of the poet? Yes, very good. It is the famous Rabindranath Tagore, and also well known as Vishwakavi. His title is Vishwakavi. Now in our B reading, we have a poem, right? And according to this poem, Rabindranath Tagore lost his mother at his young age. He says he cannot remember his mother, but recalls her in his memories. Okay, here is about the poet Rabindranath Tagore. He was born in 1861 and passed away in 1941, and he is also popularly known as Vishwakavi and Gurudev. He was the founder of Shantiniketan, an experimental school. He was awarded the Nobel Prize in Literature for his Gitanjali, the Song of Offerings. Each of his poems reflects Indian vision and love towards his motherland. He is considered the voice of Indian heritage. Now let us get into the poem. My mother. I cannot remember my mother. Only sometime, in the midst of my play, a tune seems to hover over my playthings, the tune of some song that she used to hum while rocking my cradle. I can't remember my mother. So poet says that he is unable to remember his mother. Only sometime in the midst of the play, means in the middle of his play, he remembers his mother's song. Which song? That she used to sing while rocking the cradle. You can see the picture. While rocking, she used to play some song, she used to sing some song, and that tune he remembers. Okay, yeah. And the second stanza. I can't remember my mother, but when in the early autumn morning the smell of the chilly flowers floats in the air, the scent of the morning service in the temple comes to me as the scent of my mother. So, in the autumn season means Sharat Ritu. It is called in Telugu Sharat Ritu. So, when all the flowers bloom, right? So he gets the smell of chili flowers. Do you know what chili flowers are? I have given you the picture over there, Parijata Pushpali, which his mother used to offer the god or maybe used to wear in her hair. So the smell that he gets from a temple nearby reminds his mother's scent. So he remembers his mother with the help of that scent he gets from. I cannot remember my mother. Only when from my bedroom window I send my eyes into the blue of the distant sky, I feel that the stillness of my mother's gaze on my face has spread all over the sky. So in this stranger, he feels as if his mother is gazing at him, means looking at him from the distant blue sky. So all over the sky, he is visualizing his mother's face. Now here you can get the meanings. Hover means remain in the air. Shuli means small white or orange flowers that bloom in autumn. And scent means perfume, good smell. So this is the wonderful description of his mother's thoughts by Rabindranath Tagore. Coming to sea reading, a letter to a friend. Yeah, in this sea reading, you have a letter written by a friend to another friend. The names are Suresh and Ramesh. So here Ramesh is writing the letter. So he is addressing Suresh. Dear Suresh, he is writing from Hyderabad. You can see the address on the top left, top right. This is Ramesh. I apologize for not meeting you during your visit to Hyderabad last week. Unfortunately, I had a meeting in my office. Firstly, he is telling sorry to his friend Suresh because he didn't able to meet him because of the meeting he had on that day. I remember how we enjoyed our childhood days in Manikonda village. Every day we played together in our garden. Our family was very big. There were 12 members in our family. I remember how we played in the moonlight. Our grandma used to give us fruits and biscuits. Our grandpa used to tell us fairy tales about the princes, warriors, and the village boys. He memorizes all his childhood activities in the first para. Now I am working at Microsoft, a software company, Hyderabad, as a computer programmer. I am married and we have a child. My wife works at Dell, Hyderabad, as a system analyst. You know, city life is quite busy. We start in the morning, leave our child at the baby care center, and come back in the evening with faded faces. We hardly find time to sit together. How disgusting! We work with computers, think like computers, and live like computers. We have forgotten our family. Papam, he is expressing his grief because even though he earns a lot, he hasn't enough time to spend with his family in a busy scheduled life, that too in Hyderabad. I remember how we played gilli danda, hide and seek, and kabaddi. We went for swimming in our local tank every Sunday. Here we live in an apartment where there is no room to play. Our flat is our world, just like a well for a frog. Bavilo kappa. ఉంటాం కదా? So In the same way, um, Adelokam Kappuki. In the same way, these people, the apartment is their world. They feel like that the apartment is their world, no world outside. The world remains unheeded. How happy we were in our school. We used to sit in the same row, did all the work together, and took part in the events. I remember how Padmanabhaya sir, our class teacher, appreciated us when we got the first prize in district science fair. I remember how we went on a picnic to Koili Sagar. There we went boating. Our tour to Sri Salem was rememberable. Still, I remember the green hills full of trees that almost touched the sky. I remember the roaring of the Krishna River at the dam. There is nothing here. I wonder at my child's silence. He always sits in front of the computer and play games, never caring for anyone. So they spent joyfully in their childhood, but he is worried about his child's living. He's always in the computer, not mingling with other people. I remember the happy moments when our uncle visited us. He brought toys and fruits for us. Our aunt brought me a new dress for that's we enjoyed Deepavali. Still, I hear the sounds of crackers. I can see the rockets flying into the sky, making the night full of light. Where are those days? My child doesn't know his uncle or aunt. For him, uncle and neighbor are the same. Sometimes I think of our childhood days. I think of grandparents, uncles, brothers, sisters. We missed them. We missed the joy of the family. We missed their company. We are missing many things in this busy life. Suresh, I don't know where those gardens have gone. Those fairy tales, those fruits, those words of love and affection. We have lost our real life in this unreal world. Anyhow, I'm happy that I have found time to write to you. Please come to me. Let's remember our childhood days of joy. Your loving friend, Ramesh. So, this is a letter written by Ramesh to his friend Suresh. And what is there in the letter? All his childhood memories, how he had spent with his friend. And he was also very much worried about his present living and also about his child. Children, let us learn letter writing, a major discourse. Okay, yeah. Years back, when telephones, mobiles weren't invented, how does people communicate with each other? Yes, your guess is right. Through letters. They wrote letters to each other to communicate from about their ideas or their feelings and to know about the well-doing of their relatives, friends, etc. They used to write letters. So let's see what a letter is. A letter is a written message that can be written or printed on paper. Now that emails and text messages have become the way of communication. In these days, emails and text messages have become uh, very popular in communicating. Letters are still prevailing for purposes like application for a job, sending official letters to its customers, etc. Yeah, there are many types of letters, and mainly we are discussing formal letter and informal letter in this video. Let us first understand that there are broadly two types of letters, namely formal letter and informal letter. But then there are also a few letters based on their contents, formalities, the purpose of letter writing, etc. But just we'll go through these two first. Formal letter. These letters follow a certain pattern and formality. They are strictly kept professional in nature and directly address the issues concerned. Any type of business letter or letter to authorities falls within this given category. So generally official letters are called formal letters. Next, informal letter. These are personal letters. They need not follow any set pattern or adhere to any formalities. Means it can be written as our mind says. They contain personal information or are a written conversation. Informal letters are generally written to friends, acquaintances, acquaintances and relatives, etc. uh, Letter writing format. In general, everyone needs to be aware of the format of letter writing. So, you people, while writing for your exams, you need to follow all these components that are necessary in the letter writing. This is the format. The letter writing format of a formal letter is as mentioned below. Sender's address should be there, date, receiver's address, subject. Sender's address is nothing but the details of the person sending the letter, and date you can mention in the two patterns given over there. First you can mention date, month and year, or month, date and year. Okay, that is the date which you write the letter. Then receiver's address, uh, where you need to give the pin code especially, and the locality, name of the locality, house number, etc. Then the subject. Yeah, the subject of the formal letter should be very brief and must be preceded by the word subject. Subject means రాయాల్సి ఉంటుంది అక్కడ. Okay, ఎందుకు రాస్తున్నాము, what does this letter for? By reading that subject itself we can find what that letter is written for. Next, salutation. Salutation is nothing but addressing the receiver. Like if the name of the recipient is known, the salutation starts with dear, followed by Mr. or Mrs. or Miss, etc. If the person is unknown, dear sir or dear madam. Okay. Then comes the body of the letter. It furnishes the reason behind writing the letter, why we are writing, will be given in the body. The body of the letter is generally divided into three paragraphs: introduction, middle part, and conclusion. The introduction that states the main point, and middle part supporting points and details to justify the need and importance of letter writing, and then the conclusion. Next, complimentary closure. That is, this is to end the letter with respect in a polite manner, such as yours faithfully, yours sincerely, etc. So you will be habituated to write letters now. So you'll be writing there yours obediently, yours sincerely, like that. Next, signature line. This is the last part where the sender of the letter signs off with his first or last name. Yeah, here. Just we have gone through the format or components of a formal letter, means official letters we can say, or business letters. Yeah, the sender's address, date, receiver's address, subject, salutation, body of the letter, complimentary closure, signature line where sender's name, signature and designation are written. Till now we have seen the format of formal letters, but here we are going to watch about informal letters. Okay, informal letters are written to friends and relatives, right? Here we can include address, date, salutation, body of the letters, sender's name and signature. Let us see. Here it is. Your address should be written to the right top of the letter, date, and greetings. Greeting is nothing but salutation, dear mom, dear friend, dear gopi, like that. And the body of the letter, opening, context, and closing, and signing off, and then the signature. That's it. Okay. Important pointers of informal letters. The subject line is not required in an informal letter. No subject is written. If you have observed that subject which gives what is the main purpose of writing the letter will be there in the formal letters, not in the informal letters. So no prescribed format has to be strictly followed. The usage of language must be friendly and casual. The letter can have extra information as per the sender's choice. Now coming to the vocabulary part of your textbook, unit number 1. Test your word power. Yeah. Let us do this exercise which was given in your textbook after the A reading. Okay, the words that are there in the box have to be selected and put appropriately in the blanks given under. Huddled, awkwardly, futile, vacation, reluctantly, exasperately, mumbling, and irritation. Now, you might have remembered the few meanings uh, of the few words given there. Okay, now let us solve this. All my attempts to make him happy proved dash. What is it? Oh, futile. All my attempts to make him happy proved futile, failed. It was very cold, so I dashed in a corner, huddled in a corner. Forced by her parents, Sita Dash took the diploma course reluctantly, without willing. Unwillingly, she has taken diploma course. What are you dash? I can't hear you. So గుసగుసలాడుకోవడం అని చెప్పుకున్నాం ఆల్రెడీ లెసన్ లో, దట్ ఇస్ mumbling. The news that he was denied promotion cast dash to him irritation. Yes, well done. Let us move to the grammar part. Test your sentence formation. Know about the grammar phrases and noun phrases. She saw a bald, fat, middle-aged man. This was the description given about the person who has entered that woman's house. Yeah, which word in the underlined part is important? Which one is important? The whole one. The underlined part in the above sentence has more than one word. It is called a phrase. A bald, middle-aged man. So this all is underlined in your textbook. Sorry, it is not appearing here in the slide. Yeah, the underlined part, a bald, fat, middle-aged man, functions as a noun phrase. Why? Because the man is important and all the other words add more information to that word. That's why it is called as a noun phrase. Phrase is nothing but a combination of words, collection of words, group of words we can say, whereas a noun phrase is a group of words that describe a noun. Now look at the following sentence from the text and observe the underlined part. It is called a noun phrase. So a man is being described, a bald, fat, middle-aged man. So all these, what are the parts of speech belonging to that? Is a is an article, bald is an adjective, fat is an adjective, middle-aged is also an adjective. So these are all the adjectives that describe the noun man. Yeah, here is an exercise. You need to put those words in a correct form. Then you are going to get a meaningful sentence. I bought dash beautiful a umbrella red. So these are all jumbled. We need to make it into a correct meaningful one. A red beautiful umbrella. Here the word red and beautiful are adjectives and umbrella is a noun. So this a red beautiful umbrella is a noun phrase. Now we saw dash in the zoo. Baby a elephants of couple. So what is the noun here? Elephant. Very good. Baby elephants. Now let us see. A couple of baby elephants. We saw a couple of baby elephants in the zoo. This is the noun phrase. Our grandfather lives in dash. Big house, a stone built. So what is the noun here? House. So big and stone built are adjectives. So a big stone built house. A stone built big house. Ramya has dash. Nice a sari silk. So in these words, the noun is sari and the rest are the adjectives that describe it. So we get the answer, a nice silk sari. Here ends. Children, here is a passage given under listening and speaking skills in your textbook. This is an announcement on the radio and just you people just listen to it and observe the pronunciation and try to grasp the meaning or comprehend the text. Okay, let's move.
An announcement on the radio. Prashant, a 13-year-old boy, has been missing since last Sunday. The boy is in blue trousers and pink t-shirt. He can speak Telugu, Hindi and English. He has fair complexion. He is fond of movies. His parents are much worried about him. Whoever finds Prashant will be rewarded. You may contact the Sub-Inspector of Police, Vidyanagar, Thiruvananthapuram. Mobile number 9900000000. Again, an announcement on the radio. Prashant, a 13-year-old boy, has been missing since last Sunday. The boy is in blue trousers and pink t-shirt. He can speak Telugu, Hindi and English. He has fair complexion. He is fond of movies. His parents are much worried about him. Whoever finds Prashant will be rewarded. You may contact the Sub-Inspector of Police, Vidyanagar, Thiruvananthapuram. Mobile number 9900000000. Thank you. This is the end of your unit 1.